In July 2023, a 34-year-old software engineer from San Jose named Miguel reached into a dusty storage unit and pulled out 8 plain, shrink-wrapped rectangles. They weren't books, they weren't secret NSA drives, they were first-generation 4GB Apple iPhones, still factory sealed since the day Steve Jobs yelled, "Reinvent the phone." BusinessInsider.com. 16 years earlier, Miguel had camped outside an Apple store, bought 10 of them for $499 each, intending to flip them on eBay within a week. Fortune.com. He immediately sold 2, got distracted by life, and shoved the rest behind a broken laser printer, promising he'd deal with them next month. Next month became a mortgage, then a pandemic, then, oh, look, crypto, until the boxes became part of the furniture, literally propping up a sagging IKEA desk. Fast forward to 2023. Miguel's landlord announces a rent hike and he finally Googles sealed iPhone auction prices. Cue jaw hitting floor. One had just fetched $190,372 at auction. BusinessInsider.com. Miguel does the kind of math we only attempt after 3 espressos. $190,000 per phone times 8 minus whatever eBay charges for bubble wrap. He calls the auction house, ships 1 unit, and 2 weeks later receives a wire for $183,000 net of fees. Each shipment required a temperature-controlled crate, 3 tiers of bubble wrap, and insurance that literally asked whether the item was priceless sentimental tech or commoditized nostalgia. He then does what any rational human would do. He screenshots the bank balance and posts it to his group chat with the caption, "iPhone greater than Bitcoin." Over the next 12 months, he auctions 4 more. The weakest one still lands $130,027. The strongest hits $147,286 because apparently nostalgia now has a NASDAQ ticker. NewAtlas.com. Miguel's total haul, $806,000 on an original $3,992 investment. Return on investment, 20,000%. That's not a typo. But of course, Wall Street says past performance is no guarantee of future results, especially when your investment doubles as an ancient paperweight. So why did a gadget that can't even open TikTok suddenly outperform half the S&P 500? 2 words, manufactured scarcity. Apple produced the 4GB model for only 2 months before deciding everyone wanted 8 gigs, accidentally making the cheaper version the holy grail. Add 21st century tech nostalgia, sprinkle in pandemic stimulus checks, and you have a perfect storm where grown adults pay 5 college semesters for a phone that can't send gifts. CNBC even ran a segment titled, "Boomers, Meet Your New 401 iPhone," while Reddit's R Apple Flex thread detonated with memes of Steve Jobs wearing a diamond-encrusted OtterBox. An economist on Bloomberg muttered the phrase, "post-industrial tulip mania," then sheepishly admitted he owned 2 sealed units himself and had named them mac and cheese. Auction houses fuel the hype by pointing out that fewer than 700 sealed 4-giggers are estimated to remain, which sounds scientific until you remember nobody's opening their closets to be counted. Meanwhile, collectors treat original iPhones like Renaissance paintings, climate-controlled vaults, white gloves, and insurance policies that read "loss of internet icon." But here's the banana peel irony. Had Miguel simply thrown his $3,992 into Apple stock in 2007, he'd have around $780,000 today. Still less than his doorstop phones, but with the bonus ability to actually, sell gradually without TSA-level packaging. The plot twist: Miguel is now terrified of oxygen. He's keeping the last 3 phones in a bank vault, waiting for the 200 grand club, yet refuses to buy a protective case for his current iPhone 16 because that's a scam. While Miguel calculates whether bubble wrap is a deductible business expense, you're probably staring at your own aging devices thinking, did I just trash a pension plan? Remember that beat-up couch you financed for $400 at 19% APR? Miguel's couch is literally made of shipping peanuts and regret, and it just paid for his condo down payment. Or consider your 6-month battle to cancel a $9.99 streaming subscription. Miguel just scored $147,000 for an object that can't even stream 480p Netflix. Feeling normal yet? Here's the usable nugget hidden inside this circus tent. Value isn't always about utility. It's about story, scarcity, and timing. Products discontinued early, especially first editions, often see exponential price appreciation once nostalgia kicks in and supply locks away behind obsessive collectors. But there's risk. Condition standards are brutal. One microscopic tear in factory plastic can slash value by 80%. Shipping damage, game over. Liquidity is also lumpy. Auctions happen a few times a year, and you'll lose up to 15% in fees faster than you can say buyer's premium. So if you're considering alternative collectibles, treat them like chili powder. A little can add flavor. Too much will set your financial tongue on fire. Practical steps. 1. Stick to culturally iconic items with proven secondary markets. 2. Store them professionally. 3. Track prices via auction databases, not TikTok flex videos. Most importantly, mentally write the money off the day you spend it. That mindset turns potential disappointment into a pleasant surprise rather than a therapy bill. Need more insanity? A 1999 first edition Charizard Pokemon card sold for $420,000. Apparently Dragon illustrations beat 401ks now. Hypebeast.com. A sealed 2007 LEGO Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon that retailed for $499 is trading near $3,000, with some listings touching $5,800 for mint boxes. Brickeconomy.com. eBay.com. And Michael Jordan's game-worn Air Jordan 1 sneakers shattered sneaker head reality by hitting $560,000, proving laces can yield bigger gains than hedge funds. TheGuardian.com. Somewhere out there someone is bubble wrapping a Furby, convinced it's their ticket to yacht life. I salute them, but I'm also changing my Wi-Fi password just in case. So here we are, Miguel, 8 bricks of vintage aluminum, and the uncomfortable truth that financial markets now include things that beat but no longer power on. As I sip lukewarm coffee, I realize the moral might simply be, humans will pay anything to relive a moment when their batteries were fresh. Or, in Miguel's own words, shouted into a group chat full of jaw-dropped friends, if nostalgia is a currency, then old iPhones are gold bars with a home button. Subscribe, send this to the friend still hoarding Beanie Babies, and please, invest in bananas responsibly.